All right, welcome back. Our next guest has had some great market notes for us lately. It's almost as though he's trying to become the new Oracle of Omaha, right? He's nailed a lot about this latest move in his morning wires with us. He mentioned this on Tuesday, right, a few days ago. It's very clear to me that the markets are being manipulated by the big money, which missed out on so much of this rally. Now they're playing the world's biggest game of chicken with individual investors, and sadly, it appears that they're winning, at least for right now. Well, I find that a very prophetic statement, right? And this morning he says now that the volatility has nothing to do with stock and earnings. This is all about big computers and big traders, and he talks about how not to get caught in the crossfire and what matters to investors most. Let's have him on for more of that sound advice. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Keith Fitz-Gerald. Keith, you keep talking like that to us, you're going to take over Warren's spot as the Oracle of Omaha. I don't know what you see. The Swami of Seattle. Maybe I'll call you that. Who knows? But I appreciate I appreciate everything you've said. But it does feel like there are some bigger things behind these market moves, because sometimes I'm scratching my head just a little bit. What do you think?
Well, there's no question, as I said in my note, there's no question in my mind that these markets are being manipulated. The thing is, they're doing it right in plain sight, and it's all perfectly legal. And the crossfire that I'm talking about is, you don't want to play a game of chicken with a computer that can outguess you and is outcapitalize you every step of the way. What you want to do as an investor is step back. You want to pick battles that Wall Street has no interest in fighting, has no desire to engage in. And the way you do that is to buy great companies. So I can talk either about the great companies or I can talk about the manipulation, but it's all about the flow. If money comes in, the computers buy. If money goes out, it sells. It's just that simple.
All right, well, give us an idea about what you think are great companies right now.
Well, the great companies are the ones that are changing the world no matter what the big traders are doing and no matter what the Fed does and no matter how Wall Street tries to hijack this is in their interest. We're still very early innings. We're so early to the AI ballgame, for example, that the hot dog vendors haven't even gotten woken up. They haven't even warmed up their stoves. So the Apples, the Microsofts, the Palantirs, the Nvidias, all the stuff that is getting shellacked right now is getting shellacked because the big money missed the run-up. They couldn't get past the valuation gang in their spreadsheets. And now they want to talk the market lower before it goes higher. Investors who have been on board the whole time, I get this argument a lot, but Nvidia's up, 18,000% in the last 15 years? I mean, how do you argue with that? Wall Street can't because it never caught the boat.
Right, and so now they're punishing folks, or at least in the short term, trying to scare some people out of some things. I mean, you've talked about, say, even Tesla, right? Tesla has been hurt over this whole move, but I'm very excited about what Elon Musk can do, not when it comes to cars, but when it comes to robots, when it comes to data centers, when it comes to SpaceX. I mean, all the other things. I mean, I don't want to get scared out of that trade.
No, you don't. And this, what I'm about to say is financial heresy. But, the thing you've got to do is focus on the executives and the leaders and the companies. The analysts don't work there. They never have. Many of them never worked in the same industries they're ostensibly experts in. You don't want to get in the way of a Citadel or a big trader, a BlackRock or somebody else's interest is in what happens in the next 20 seconds. If you're an investor, you want to think 3, 4, 5 years out. The question you want to ask is not what are the hot stocks, not what are the headlines saying. What you want to ask is which stocks are going to be there when I need them, when my children need them, when my children's children need them. And it's a very, very short list at the very top of the marketplace, usually 1 or 2 in their respective industries.
As a technical trader, I don't know if you're a technical trader or not, but I'm sure the technical traders out there saw how strong we opened up yesterday, and to see us wash out and close on our lows, that projects weakness, doesn't it?
Well, it's only weakness if you're going to play that particular game, right? The problem with computers, right? Let me give you a great example. Let's just say you own the SPY and it's an index fund. You're thinking, okay, this is great. I'm good here. But there's a great big fund that puts $10 billion order in. The $10 billion order is logically going to flow to the biggest stocks in the industry because it's cap weighted. So, you're going to see this adverse movement going up and down magnified because it's got to go into the biggest names first and the smallest names last. So, if you're buying something like that, it's like buying cable television. You're going to have to get the bass fishing channel to get the history channel. You're going to have to get the underwater basket weaving to get the news. So you've always got to have a series of trade-offs if you're going to invest. But that's how volatility and the big money magnifies the moves that are giving everybody such fits right now.
And then I would assume that you're probably one of those people that watches the velocity of the money, the velocity of the trades, and you can start to see when this down move starts to peter out a little bit. I kind of feel like it's getting to that point. What say you?
Well, I agree. So we use what we call quantamental analysis in our shop. So we blend fundamental and technical information. The computers that we have had, access to for the last 20 years have become more and more powerful, which means we have access to more and more information. The question that most investors struggle with, Scott, is interpreting that information. The internet's been great, but it's now so much information out there that all you've got is an excuse to make worse decisions. So what you got to learn to do now is push all that information away and get down to the basics, get back to basics. Because guess what? There's, it almost always feels like a bad time to invest, but history shows it almost always is a great time to invest if you're talking about the great companies.
Yeah, I mean, once they get this out of their system, there's not going to be a lot in the way of this market when and if it does come back. Right? Yeah, I agree with you there.
That's it, right there.
The only thing I'll say from here on out is, yeah, you've been fantastic. And just like Warren Buffett is called the Oracle of Omaha, I've changed it a little bit while you're talking. I think you should be called the Sultan of Seattle. That's what we're going to go with, the Sultan of Seattle.
Oh, my goodness.
So I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you coming on, Keith. Thank you very much. Keith Fitz-Gerald coming to us from Seattle. Appreciate everything you've got.